Hello everyone, back again with movie and tune recap. Today, I'm going to explain an American action horror film from 2002, titled Resident Evil. Spoilers ahead, so watch out and take care. Meanwhile, Alice walks into another room, where she sees cages with holes in them, as if something broke out. She hears a noise and sees a zombie dog with no flesh. It chases her, and she runs into another room where a zombie is. She punches it several times and then kicks it. She wonders how she was able to fight like that, then remembers what James told her, that she used to be a security guard and was trained in martial arts. Suddenly, a dog jumps through the window, and she runs into another room and locks the door. When she turns around, she sees 5 or 6 more zombie dogs. They charge at her, and she starts shooting them with the gun she took from the zombie scientist. When another dog suddenly jumps out from a cabinet, she steps on a box, pushes herself off the wall, and kicks the dog in the face. Then the scene changes to Matt walking through some offices. He enters a cubicle and finds Dr. Lisa's workspace, the same woman seen earlier in the elevator, and suddenly, a zombie hits the window, scaring him. Next, it cuts to the large room where the zombies were before. The door Alice had been watching is broken down, and a huge ugly monster jumps out. Back to Matt, he is still looking around the cubicle when he hears someone. He turns and sees Lisa. She looks normal at first, but when she gets closer, she tries to bite him, but before she can, Alice stabs Lisa in the back of the neck. Alice then remembers a moment where she was talking to Lisa about breaking into the Umbrella Corporation and exposing the virus to the public. Then Matt says that Lisa was his sister, and add that someone had tried to help Lisa get into the building, but then betrayed her, which is not true. Everyone hides in the control room. Matt and Alice run in, with many zombies chasing them. They can't escape, so they go back to the Red Queen's room, and there, they ask the hologram how to get out. The Red Queen, who appears as a little girl, explains everything about the T-virus. She says the virus was created in the Umbrella Corporation's lab to help people live longer, but it went wrong. When the alarm system was triggered, everyone in the underground facility died and turned into zombies. These zombies now feed on living people, and anyone who is bitten or scratched will also turn into a zombie. While she is explaining, JD's dead body comes back to life, and Rain has already been bitten several times. Alice asks the Red Queen how they can escape, and she agrees to help, and shows them a sewer entrance in the corner. They go down into the sewer, but zombies attack them from both sides. Everyone climbs onto the pipes to stay safe, and during this, Kaplan is bitten on the leg, and Rain is bitten again on both arms. Rain finds her gun and is shocked when she sees JD, now a zombie, and hesitates to shoot him. When she calls his name, he comes closer and bites her on the neck. Some zombies almost attack her, but she manages to escape, and when JD tries to attack again, Rain finally shoots and kills him. They all make it across, except Kaplan when a pipe breaks, and he falls, but he gets back up. He tells the others to leave without him and puts a gun in his mouth, and the scene cuts to Alice, and she hears a gunshot. However, it turns out Kaplan did not kill himself. He shot a zombie instead and continues moving along the pipe. When the remaining survivors are walking through the corridors, Alice starts imagining people walking past her, and then she imagines the lab. She looks through a window and sees scientists injecting the T-virus into a rabbit. She also sees a green liquid and a vaccine, and tells Rain, who is now very pale and can barely walk. They go to where the lab used to be, but it is flooded, and Alice goes to where the vaccine should be, but it is gone. Spencer has a flashback. He remembers overhearing Alice talking with Lisa about stealing a sample of the T-virus to expose Umbrella Corporation's bad plans. Because of this, Spencer decides to destroy the hive so nothing can be revealed. In the flashback, Spencer is seen operating a machine with the virus. He then deliberately releases the T-virus into the facility, and after that, he quickly leaves. It is shown that he was the man at the beginning who stole the T-virus, spilled coffee on someone, and later escaped on the train. He had been hiding on the train until JD opened the door and he fell out. Alice realizes it was him and tries to grab the gun, but Spencer gets it first. He points it at Matt, not knowing a zombie is behind him. The zombie bites Spencer, and he shoots it. He then leaves through the door, and the others think he has escaped, but then the TV turns on and shows the Red Queen, who says, "That's not true." Spencer walks to the place on the trail where he hid the vaccine, and is about to inject himself when he hears a noise. He looks up at the ceiling, and after a few seconds, a huge creature called the Licker is seen crawling above him. The Licker drops to the ground, and Spencer tries to run away in panic, but the Licker quickly attacks and kills him. Back in the flooded lab, the Red Queen tells Alice that to get the code for the door, she must kill Rain, who is infected and dying. Rain agrees and tells Alice to kill her. She even gives Alice a fire axe taken from the wall. Rain keeps telling Alice to do it, and it looks like Alice is about to, but instead she strikes the screen. At that moment, the Licker jumps at the glass and cracks it, hitting the glass a few more times, then leaves. After that, Kaplan, who was thought to be dead, comes through a door. Everyone is happy, but the Licker returns again. They all move toward the train, and on the train, Alice finds the vaccine, but then a zombified Spencer wakes up. Alice says, "I'm missing you already," and kills him by hitting his head with an axe. She then removes her wedding ring and leaves it behind before they escape on the train. As Kaplan drives the train back to the mansion, they inject the vaccine into Rain, and say Alice will know what to do when the time comes. Her head drops, and Alice is about to shoot her when Rain suddenly wakes up and says she is not dead yet. Suddenly, claws scratch through the metal, injuring Matt's arm, and they turn to aim their weapons. The train door opens, and Kaplan is killed when the Licker pulls him out. The Licker breaks into the train and attacks Alice, who shoots it in the head, but it keeps coming. Its tongue wraps around her leg, she stabs it, and tells Matt to push it out of the train. Rain then wakes up again and has turned into a zombie. She tries to bite Matt, but he shoots her in the head, killing her. Rain's body falls onto a button that opens a floor door under the Licker, and the Licker falls out and is crushed by the train, where it is burned. Alice closes the floor door, cutting off the Licker's tongue and finally killing it completely. Matt and Alice get off at the station, and manage to escape just in time before the emergency doors close. Matt tells Alice that with the vaccine and the T-virus sample, they can expose Umbrella Corporation and show the world what they are really doing. While he speaks, he suddenly falls to the ground, holding his arm in pain, and just then, a group of armed scientists in protective suits suddenly break through the door. They see Matt is infected, and the scratch marks on his arm are starting to pulse. They take him away and say they will put him into the Nemesis program. They then take Alice and say she will be quarantined so they can test her for the T-virus. They also say they are going back into the hive to find out what happened there. Alice later wakes up in a white room with wires connected to her head and arm, but she pulls them out. She looks in the mirror and screams for them to let her out, and a person whose face is not shown walks past on the other side of the glass. She goes to the door, takes a needle, and uses it to force open the door code system. She discovers she is in Raccoon City Hospital, and the place looks empty. She walks outside into Raccoon City and sees that everything is destroyed. There are no people or bodies anywhere, and a newspaper is shown with the headline "The Dead Walk." It is clear that the T-virus has escaped from the hive and has infected the whole city. She walks to an abandoned police car and takes a pump-action shotgun. The final shot shows Alice pumping the shotgun while standing in the middle of the empty street, and the camera pulls back, revealing the destroyed city. Okay guys, that's all the recap about Resident Evil from 2002. Thanks for watching, see you again in the next video.